Hello, everyone. Welcome back again with the second session, TikTok, Asian Diaspora, and TikTokers. So now we present with three amazing speakers today, Mr. Palabon and Korean Billy and Palak and Molly. Okay, so based on our discussion about how scholars look at diaspora issues and also the platform TikTok, now let's look at how actually content creators use TikTok platforms for deliver the messages about Asian diaspora or more cultural, intercultural knowledge. So let me introduce our amazing scholars, amazing speakers today. Mr. Palabon Kujobi is a Ghanaian Japanese TikToker currently based in Tokyo, who mainly explores Afro and biracial lived experiences in Japan. He's the co-founder of Diaspora, an African diaspora organization in Japan, and works as a blockchain token marketing strategist at an esports company inside fancy Tokyo Tower. Yay. And now Palak and Molly, they are the family. They decided to spread the smiles on TikTok following their passion for acting. Their world revolves around each other. They love to go places together, create funny content together, and live life together. They are originally from India and now live in Australia. Last but not least, Korean Billy, also Seungjae Kong, has been making videos for over 6 years on various social media platforms, including TikTok. His videos features different British accents and British culture from the perspective of a Korean, which brought him publicity in the Korea and UK. So please welcome three amazing content creators, influencers, and TikTokers here. I'd like to begin with the session with the question: what brought you to TikTok? I see that Korean Billy has started, and also Pala started TikTok around 2021, and Palak and Molly, you guys started TikTok in 2019 around that year. So could you tell us about why you started on TikTok? Perhaps Pala first?
Hi, can you guys hear me? Okay, perfect. Thank you, Dr. Lee, for having me here today. Very awesome. I'm very happy to be here. I'm Billy. And how did I start TikTok? So me, I was always like the comedian in the family. I do comedy, and like my family thinks I'm funny. But basically, how I started TikTok, my brother was always telling me to do it, and I never got around to it. But then last year, I went to Ghana for holiday. When I was coming back, I did a COVID test in Ghana, and the COVID test was through my mouth and not my nose. And so when I got to Japan, they were like they said, "Is this COVID test from your mouth?" And I was like, "Yeah." And basically the rule was that it has to be from your nose. So they tried to deport me at the airport, right? And it's crazy because I'm Japanese and I have a Japanese passport and everything. I was like, "How are you going to deport me from my country to somewhere else?" They're like, "They're going to send me back." And I was like, "No, you're not going to send me back. I'm from here." So basically it was very, very frustrating. I'm not even gonna lie. I was stuck they made me quarantine in a hotel, paid for everything myself. They didn't even give me like food. So it was very frustrating, but they let me into the country and I documented all of this on a story. And a lot of people were reacting to the story and people found it quite fun, And so someone was just like, "Yo, you should make a TikTok." So I made a TikTok out of it. And the first video I made on TikTok got like 1.2 million views or something. I was like, "Damn, I'm alone in this hotel." Didn't have much to do. I was like, "It's kind of fun." So then I just kind of started making videos and that's how it all started. Yeah.
Lovely. And Palak and Molly?
Well, for us, like we are partner in crimes from last 12 years, married to each other, and we both have a real good passion for acting. So we always thought of doing something, but never really got time for doing that. But when COVID struck and we were all stuck at our own houses, and then there was a lot of depression and lots of other things going on. People were sad, and me, by profession, I'm a social worker as well. So I just thought like I just had a chat with Palak, like let's do something to spread some smiles. And then um, when we were thinking that, we got to know that we felt pregnant, and so that was a great news for us to start with. And then we thought like let's stick to TikTok, let's start making some funny videos. And then we did some kind of research, and we explored a few platforms. um, um, some of them included Dub Smash and Instagram. Now, we did started making some videos with some voiceovers initially, but then we really wanted something which could give us some more content. And we were looking for some platforms which were easy for use and interface, and obviously we wanted some good video quality as well. And that's what brought us to TikTok. And we also thought like as like based on the research which we did a bit before starting some videos. So we thought that there were people who were making solo videos, but there were very few people like as a family who actually wanted to make videos. And so that was what brought us to TikTok. And I think Palak would like to add something on this.
Yeah, as in like as soon as we started looking for these sort of family TikTokers, it was getting less and less. It was very hard to find those. It was only solo TikTokers who were popular those days. And that's when it started that I think this could be a unique selling point for us. And that's when we started making videos based on, and nothing too complicated. It was simple things based on what happens in day-to-day life between a husband and wife, the banter that goes on, the like the usual things that we do. That's what we started making videos, and people started loving it, and that's what we got into then.
Lovely. What about Billy?
Hello. So for me, I have been making video contents over 6 years now, and my making video dates back to like almost like 7 years ago. So since I started making videos right after graduation, and since I was a college student, I have always wanted to work as a multimedia journalist. So I first started making videos as a kind of like practice for, working as a journalist in the video field. So at first I started making videos on YouTube and Facebook. And at that time, there was no TikTok, so there was like, I couldn't really upload videos on TikTok. So since then, I have always been interested in different video platforms, popping up, and I have been always interested in like trying new platforms when it comes to presenting my video content. And after making videos on YouTube and Facebook for several years, there was a new platform called TikTok, and I found it. I mean, at first I saw it as kind of like one of the many new platforms which wouldn't be able to kind of succeed in this major field, because when TikTok first appeared, YouTube was like so strong, and YouTube was such a major platform. So I was a bit suspicious at first, but it kind of grew really, really quickly. And after seeing all those statistics of like rapid grow up, I kind of got interested in joining this TikTok platform, and I started to make videos on that. So at first I just uploaded the same videos from my YouTube and Facebook, but I realized that this TikTok platform is a little bit different when it comes to like interaction and formats. So I tried like different original TikTok style videos, and obviously that kind of brought more engagement and more exposure on this TikTok platform. So now I start to make original TikTok videos as well as making other platform style videos. So now I'm kind of like, because TikTok is now so big, I'm also starting to focus more on this TikTok platform as well.
Got it. Lovely. Thank you so much. So, because everybody has a different purposes or different reasons of being in or joining a TikTok. So, I'd like to ask questions about what's so special about TikTok, especially delivering your messages here. So, Pella, because you mentioned that the stories of, being biracial Japanese in Japan, that's very interesting starting point of joining TikTok. So could you tell us about what's your messages that you want to deliver, or is there any main purpose you are doing TikTok, this funny, very comedious content?
So thanks for saying it's funny. What I try to do through my videos is basically to share the lived experiences of Black and maybe Blasian people in Japan, and kind of just elevate our stories and make people understand a little bit more, give people a little bit more insight into what it's like to be Black in Japan. And I use comedy as a medium, I guess, to kind of express those things, because Japan, you'd be surprised, but I mean, there's a good number of Black people out here, and like mixed kids also who grew up here, but a lot of Japanese people don't have Black friends. You'd be very surprised how many Japanese people have never even spoken to a Black person. And there's obviously these kind of stereotypes and misconceptions Japanese people have. Japanese people put a lot of things in the world into blocks. Like, these people are like this is like this is like this, right? But obviously people are more complex than that. So since people don't have the opportunity to necessarily directly know a Black person or a mixed race person directly, so I use my platform to kind of give them that chance. I give you the insights that you would not go out on your own to get. So it makes things a little bit more digestible, and it gives a little bit more context and maybe depth to us, because they see us maybe as a monolith a lot of times. And so I use my platform to kind of share that, but also just to make people know, like for Black people out here, to make them know they're not alone on their experiences. Because in TikTok, a lot of people comment and this and that. And so I make something, actually the best compliment that I like is when people say it's accurate, or I can relate to this, right? So then people see a video I make and then they're like, oh, this is so relatable, this happened to me. And then a lot of people start in the comments sharing their experiences as well. So as normal people who are not going through those experiences, you can read through the comments and have some kind of like insights into the situations, but also for the people who are going through those experiences, you get to connect with others who have had similar experiences. And I think that is a beautiful thing, Yeah.
Yeah, Billy.
Because I think Japan is relatively a closed society and rather conservative. So I will say living in Japan as a mixed person would be very tough sometimes. But would you see that this offline world and this online world are quite different? Would you see that this online world is rather open-minded, people are open-minded and people are more open because it's a more diverse world?
Well, I'm sure the online world is probably as big as the offline world, because everyone has like presence online. But I'd say probably because of algorithms and this and that, they're probably putting our stuff out, because I don't get a whole lot of hate on TikTok. I'm sure there's a good number of people online who are still closed-minded in how they see things. But through my page, for the most part, people tend to be open-minded. I mean, I've had some people, I remember when I made the first TikTok video, and I was saying something like, I'm Japanese, and I was waving my passport around. And someone told me, just because a dog is born in the water doesn't make it a fish. It's still a dog, or something. Like, just because you're born there doesn't make you Japanese, or something like that. I don't really engage with those kind of people. That's just like been my policy from the start. But there's a good amount of closed-minded people online as well, I'd say.
Yeah, interesting. Palagamuli, what about you? I see that you guys are from India originally and living in Australia right now. And you mentioned that because TikTok is banned in your country, I mean, your home country, India. So I think it's very interesting how your content in your language is spreading or, consumed by people. And so what's your message that you want to deliver as a family content creator?
So that's exactly what I was about to say. So when we started making TikTok, TikTok was very popular in India. It was at peak at the moment, millions of people using TikTok at that time. And then suddenly, due to political reasons, TikTok was banned in India, which means that there was so much content there created by a lot of Indian TikTokers, but now suddenly there was a stop to it. And that's when we started making those TikTok videos. We started making a lot of TikTok videos, and all of those TikTok videos then started landing on pages for Indians living outside of India. So all of those Indians who were not living in India, they were living overseas, they were living outside of India, started getting those TikTok that we were doing regularly, because there was at that point, I think you could count in fingers, there was very few TikTokers who were doing content which was based on Indian content. And that's when our videos started going popular. Now, when we talk about this kind of content that we were doing and what we want to achieve, or what our agenda is on TikTok, so we just started with thinking that let's spread some smiles with this stressful time with COVID and all of that. Let's start doing something together. We always wanted to do something together. When we started doing those husband and wife sort of videos, which happens in day-to-day life, we started people commenting, sharing. Let's say a husband is sharing that video, commenting that I can relate to that. This is me every day. And then there is a single person who is saying that that's why I don't want to get married. And then there is a wife over there who's tagging the husband there, saying that you should learn from this. So that sort of things started happening. Then tagging, sharing, and when this starts going through, that means our audience became couples as well as singles, and that's what most of the TikTok is. That's what the audience is about. So that's where we started clicking through, and that's what the sort of comments and reactions that we were getting. At the end of the day, we just like to sit back and enjoy. And looking at those comments, we were like, oh, you acted better, or I acted better in this one. Like, that's because we are very passionate about acting. But when we are acting and those kind of good response coming through, obviously there would be some negatives on every sort of platform, but TikTok in that sense is a lot of guidelines that you have to protect yourself from those sort of negative behavior as well. And talking about video quality, Dub Smash did not have good quality. Insta Reels was more of music, songs, and that sort. And YouTube Shorts did not even exist at that time. So TikTok, I think that had that boom at that point, and like YouTube Shorts have just started getting popular. And that's what I think a lot of people have banked on, and keep doing that. And that's why I think we love TikTok and what we are doing.
And what was best was, like, I had a lot of friends in Australia who do not understand a word of what we were doing, but still they were enjoying just the acting thing, and they used to, meet me or just comment on that, saying that we just enjoy looking at those videos, even though we don't understand the language, but we can at least understand what you're trying to convey. So just through the acting, and that was what made our day, that okay, at least the message is going through really clearly to the audience, even though they don't understand the language. And yeah, that's what made
I think our videos were a lot more animated rather than a lot of words in there. It's a lot of acting, animation, lots going on. Even if you don't understand the language, looking at it, you would know that the wife is just sitting and doing her nails and wanting the husband to do the vacuuming and mopping. So then people will start laughing and enjoying. That's what is working for us.
Great. So Pele and Palak and Molly have mentioned the relatability of, that you guys are having with your audiences. And now I wonder, Korean Billy, how you do, what's your message to deliver? Because it's not really about relatability, because you are doing different accents of a British, the UK. So what's the message that you want to deliver? And especially, do you think this is your message is related to perhaps like intercultural knowledge of the Asian diaspora?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Yeah, no worries. So because Pelican Molly and Pala mentioned about the relatability of the content that you guys are having with your audiences, because that presenting yourself as an Asian diasporic person, but now you have a different topic. Now you do different topics of, the British cultures and British accents. So how do you see, what's your message that you want to deliver? And do you think this is related to the Asian diaspora and also TikTok cultures?
So not necessarily on TikTok. When I first started making videos on British culture and British English, I was just a huge fan of British culture and the British English. So I just wanted to just share my passion with fellow friends and fellow Koreans as well. So I just in the video I just speak in English, but I always put the Korean subtitles so that other Koreans can understand and learn more about the British culture. So initially I started that way, but the internet, you can't expect anything because of a very weird algorithm. British people just discovered my videos and they just started to share my videos because for them, I was just a random Asian guy on the opposite world in the globe talking about the British culture like a professional scholar. So they found it really interesting and funny. So they started to share that video and they also started to tag other British people as well, saying that you should also check this out. So interestingly, my main audience has become British people, and on TikTok particularly because lots of young people use TikTok. My TikTok account, when it comes to my TikTok account, the main audience is British teenagers. So they also really like to, how can I say, engage with the creators. So I think they just find me as a, funny Korean uncle, funny Korean friend who just loves the British culture and just talk about that. So they just love to interact with me as a Korean mate. And they also kind of request me to cover certain topics like, hey, Korean Billy, please, talk about this Manchester culture. Please talk about this Liverpool culture, Scottish culture as well. And I also start to make videos about Scottish and Liverpool accent and London accent. And if I make those kind of videos, other British people start to tag people from Manchester, Liverpool, tagging along and saying that you should check this out, it's your hometown. So those kind of interaction and engagement has really helped me to grow my platform on TikTok and grow my presence on this TikTok, especially in the UK. So yeah, for me, what is really interesting about this TikTok platform was that they don't really see me as a celebrity or a star, like someone on the telly, someone on TV and in the film, because TikTok is anyone can make an account and anyone can make a video. So for them as well, TikTokers and content creators are not someone up in the air, someone like a movie star, but rather friendly person who I can directly interact with. So my main audience in the UK also see me as just a friendly guy, and they never hesitate to just directly comment something on me and talk to me and ask for something for me. So I think that is kind of a different thing on TikTok, what I see.
I see, that's a very interesting point because all of you mentioned that some level of relatability and ordinariness that you guys are presenting on TikTok while also presenting you as an Asia person. So I think it's a very interesting point that we think about how TikTok has been this popular across the world. So my last question is, as an Asian diasporic TikToker, so what do you think people see in you? Do you have something to accomplish on TikTok as a TikTok content creator and also Asian person on TikTok? Perhaps starting with Pele?
So yeah, I guess I am Asian, but I'm also African, right? And I think a lot of times people's definition of what they think a Japanese person looks like maybe doesn't look like me, So I guess I'm just kind of helping to, I mean, I'm not helping to redefine what it is to be Japanese, because you don't need to read it. But basically just kind of showing other people that there's different types of Japanese people, like myself being Ghanaian Japanese. And there's a lot of people like me in Japan, and a lot of kids have a hard time actually growing up here because of people always telling you you're not Japanese, you're never Japanese, blah, blah, blah. Or even how people react to you when you speak Japanese fluently. Just like, what's going on? It's like I've been speaking it my whole life, you know? So I'd like to, I mean, I don't do enough of this, but I want to make more content that's like geared towards kids. Because I think like I've made some stuff about like growing up in schools in Japan, although I didn't go to school in Japan too much, but I've had people tell me their kids really like the content, and it makes them feel like it feels good to have your story kind of told. So one of the things I would like to accomplish is to kind of I'm sorry, I just got a call from my manager. Basically, I want to tell more stories about Blasians and mixed Japanese African people here, and the value that we bring to society and the different ways we see Japan and how it ought to change. Perhaps I think that would be what I hope to accomplish through TikTok. Like you can show that you can be Ghanaian and Japanese at the same time, Yeah, that's me. And also, I just saw Korean Billy's profile. Yo, dude, you're so jacked. This guy's like a semi-bodybuilder. I don't know if you guys have seen, but this guy has muscles for days. So that's dope, man.
Trying myself to, look the best on the internet.
Yeah, it's looking good, man. It's looking good. Yeah, that's it from me.
Lovely. Since Pella mentioned Billy, how about you? Like, do you have something to accomplish? Especially on TikTok.
Well, to accomplish, because I'm a huge fan of British culture, it is very exciting for me if, British people love back my contents and myself. So it is while making videos, I've always been very happy because I have been able to make lots of British friends as well, other British creators as well. But I think what British audience see me as is because I'm kind of like an outsider. I know I am just a random Korean who is just never related to the UK, to be honest, but sometimes as a foreigner, when I talk about British culture and when I point out interesting things about British language and British culture, they kind of appreciate it because, as a foreigner, I can see the UK, this country as a whole, because I am now outside of the box. Because I'm now outside of this country, I can see the country as a whole. And if you are in this country, you kind of get subjective, and you can't really see this country as a whole if you are in this country. So they kind of sometimes say that, I kind of point out what British people can miss in their daily life. So they also find it very interesting as well. And also British people find my video very funny, even though I don't intend to, make funny videos, because it's just, something that they never expected. It's just, unexpected stuff. So that's why people find it really funny. But for me, I would like to accomplish, but thanks to them, thanks to that publicity and thanks to, going viral, my name Korean Billy, can get publicity, and people also kind of get interested in my country as well because I'm Korean Billy. So people ask who is this Korean Billy from? Oh, obviously from Korea. And what is this Korea about? And what is Korea? And people get interested in my country and try to find out more about Korean culture as well. And because Korean culture is getting popular these days, thanks to Squid Game, Korean TV shows and Korean films, Parasite and K-pop as well, I see lots of British people as well as other international people are, getting interested in learning Korean culture from me because I'm obviously Korean Billy. So I get lots of requests from British people and other people from other countries to teach back the Korean culture to the audience and to the followers as well. So somehow, I can, play a role as the bridge between the Korean culture and other cultures as well, which is really, really exciting to me. So, I definitely see that, wow, this online world is very, very international and there's no border between countries on this internet world these days. So, yeah, all the cultures are, mixed and everyone can just enjoy every single different culture on the internet. So I can see this good point.
Great, that's a great point. That it's interesting to see how that one person works as the mediator of two different cultures, while also working as probably providing the space, your content being a space for that kind of interactions. How about you, Palak and Molly? Because since you are the family content creator, is there anything that you probably want to have or accomplish on TikTok?
Well, as the famous Dalai Lama says, that happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your own actions. So we both are, together. We believe that instead of looking out for happiness, why not create it by yourself? Make your own happy space. And that's why we just keep creating videos and try and spread happiness as well. As I mentioned before, that COVID was the perfect time to do that. And then we went on making these videos, and then something that we want to accomplish, I think maybe just give back to the community in this possible way, because I guess that social worker within me keeps saying that to me, that okay, we need to do something that just spread some smiles, spread some love, and it doesn't harm doing that. There's so much of sadness and things to cry about, but then there's very little things which people actually think that they can be happy about. So yeah, I think Palak might be able to add something more to this.
It's pretty much on those lines that Molly just mentioned, but a very big part of Indian society, there's a lot of Orthodox family wherein there's these sort of equations wherein the husband will go to work and the wife would be a homemaker. But that sort of narrative is completely changed when we do something right opposite in our videos in TikTok. And when we do that, obviously it's banned in India, but there are Indians across the world who can relate to this because they either have faced the same thing in their relationship, or they've seen their parents go through a similar sort of orthodox mindset, which was like very common a few years ago in India. And when they see such thing, they and with a funny side to it, it makes them really relate to it. Plus, then it comes to as them like being like something new, something innovative, and something out of the box than what usual things people are doing. And that's what everyone likes about it, and that's what we like about it. We are huge fan of Indian movies, so for us, acting, doing voiceovers over that Indian movie dialogues, like even if we are not doing TikTok, there won't be like it would be 1 or 2 hours in the house where we have not mentioned a dialogue from a movie. Like we are that sort of a fan of Indian movies. And then we get all of that into that TikTok. The day we do a TikTok, like we both are happy and cheerful. So, and then the reaction comes from the audience as well. The engagement comes from them, and they are happy as well. And I think that's the best thing that we can do at this moment with things happening in the world.
Lovely, thank you so much. So that was my last question. So now we are heading to our audiences. We have lots of questions from the audiences. Let me ask the question from Tom. Thank you for your insightful reflection. I would be happy to hear more from all panel members about your experiences with TikTok's content moderation and hate mechanism. What are your strategies for dealing with hate waves? And did you have any experience with moderation malfunctions? Or have you ever been banned for some ambiguous reasons? Thank you for your work. I think this is really interesting question and also important question we need to think about, especially given that you guys are the person who receive all the positivity and also negativity. Yeah, since Palak mentioned about this a little bit earlier, so what about you? Yeah, let's begin with Palak and Molly.
Yeah, this like when we initially started doing TikTok, what we did is we came up with this idea of making a TikTok video with our 3 to 4 different family members, our relatives who were back in India at that time. And that time TikTok was on boom in India. So we came through, we decided that there was a very popular Indian movie and we will have dialogues and voiceovers done by each of the family members. And then there were about 15 to 20 family members all together who came together and did that big video, which we just added it all together. Obviously on TikTok, it's just those glimpses, but we made it like a video and we put it on Facebook and YouTube, and it went very popular and viral as well. In doing that, there was one scene in that when we tried copying the Indian movie, wherein the person was delivering a dialogue with a gun in his hand. And obviously we used a fake gun, and that person delivered a dialogue, and we uploaded on TikTok. And within minutes, that video was blocked by TikTok. Now, and that was something that we never faced, we never saw. So we tried to figure out what happened, and when we went there, it actually said that it was banned because you had that gun a visual in the video. So that's why you cannot use that video. And then we had to just scrap that, and we did a new one. But that was the first time we actually came to know that the content moderation is really good in TikTok, because not just that we did it without even thinking about it, that there is a gun, it's a fake gun, but that within minutes TikTok picked it up and just blocked that video, which I believe is really good. So that was a great experience and a learning curve for us as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, what about Pele? Because I think your content may be a bit controversial for Japanese. I don't know.
Yeah, so honestly, I really don't mess around with TikTok because it's scary, man. You put up something and if they take it down, I don't know how the algorithm works, but I believe your views will go down if you get shadow banned. So I'm actually like terrified of it. So like, for example, last time I made a video about, a lot of Japanese people don't stand up for old people on the train. So you'd see like young kids, like people in their 20s sitting down on the phone, and it's like an old dude, like dying, not dying, but he's like, really struggling, right? So for me, I'm not brought up like that. So I'm not a very confrontational guy, but I will tell people sometimes like, yo, like get up, And there was this kid, I was actually filming him. So I was telling him to get up. And then he asked the old man, like, oh, do you want to sit? He didn't even stand up. This guy's like, do you want to sit? And of course, Japanese people say, no, I don't want to sit, And then he looks at me and gives me this like cheeky grin, like, see, the guy doesn't want to sit. And that was like very frustrating for me. And so I put it on TikTok and I was like doing a voiceover, like commenting on it. But I was actually quite upset. So I was quite aggressive in how I was speaking. And TikTok saw that as like, I think defamation of character. Like, I don't know if that's the word, but like, it's kind of like bullying. Because I was like criticizing the young guy for what he was doing, but TikTok's figured out I was like bullying. So they paused they canceled the video and they asked me, do you agree with the decision? And I didn't, but I was like, yes, I do. 100% agree with you, TikTok. And then actually nothing happened to my videos after that. So I was pretty happy, but yeah, TikTok really doesn't mess around. Instagram, they're like pretty chill, actually. Like, I don't think I've had anything taken down from Instagram before, but yeah, the moderation is quite intense, but I'm not that that controversial, I think. I try not to be too crazy, so I haven't had too many issues with it personally. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry about my wrong word choice of. I mean, like your content's not really controversial, but can be seen as
It
a
is pretty like
controversial.
it's touching on like some like tricky, like gray, not even gray areas, but like I get what you mean though. I get what you mean. I'm not like super plain, but I try not to be overtly aggressive in like my opinions either. You know. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that making a content about the other side of culture can be sometimes, like evoking hate or something. So
Sensitive, yeah. The sensitive topics, for sure.
yeah, right. What about Billy? How about you?
For me, just anywhere on the internet, you can't really get away from this hate waves because as long as there are people, there is always hate as well, sadly. And I can definitely see that, this, on TikTok as well, this moderation, hate filtering, and those, technology are getting improved over time. I can definitely see that on the internet. But what I feel on TikTok especially is because on YouTube you usually choose what to watch and you subscribe what to watch. But on TikTok I think it's so random. People just scroll down and TikTok just shows what to watch to users. They don't really choose to watch unless they are really interested. So for them, they easily just get kind of like provoked. They easily just comment like bad comments as well and comment by like bad words as well. And for me as well, because I was just so random on TikTok. So for British people, I was just seen as a random Asian guy with kind of like a fake accent. So I got lots of like hate comments as well time to time saying like just open your eyes, Billy, and your face is very weird, very random comments, hate comments. But fortunately, the majority of the comments are good comments cheering me up. So those bad comments just naturally just went down and people didn't really recognize those bad comments. But sometimes if there are like bad comments, sometimes I just click like button and those bad commenters get kind of like freaked out because the content creator they feel like, oh, he actually showed my comment, oh my god, what should I do? And they sometimes delete that comment after I like that comment. And sometimes I also admit that, saying that okay, my eyes are so small but I can see your comments, and they kind of like notice my reply, and they become very nice suddenly after me acknowledging that comment. So that actually, I love you, Billy, it was just a joke, they say that. So I also say like, I love you too, please follow back, and say that. And I think I can also make use of those bad comments because on TikTok you can reply with video to the comment, right? So sometimes I can see other content creators as well. They just reply with video to those bad comments. Just making fun of the bad comments and making fun of themselves, like me making fun of myself as well. And that kind of makes interesting video, and kind of like that kind of puts a bit of sarcasm, banter as well. So that kind of creates engaging video contents on TikTok as well. So I think it really depends on how you make use of those bad comments. Just get let down doesn't really help anymore. So I think you really need to kind of get this healthy, you really need to kind of manage your mental health so that you can go through all these hate waves as well. So I think it's really important as well.
Great. Thank you so much. It's very like a difficult position, an interesting point that you guys are situated, like being a mediator of two different or more than two different cultures, but at the same time being at the front of the hate moves. So I hope you guys stay safe from the online hate wave. We had a lots of questions, but unfortunately, because of the time limit, we now have to wrap up this session and then take a 5 minutes break and then move to another session, which is the last session of today, NGOs and industries point of view of TikTok and Asian diaspora. And thank you so much for joining us. And then we'll see you in 5 minutes. Thank you.